I wonder if they see the sparkle in your eyes. I wonder if they know that I'm not your guy. I wonder if they see that you don't belong to me. Wish that you could be mine.
Hey, we back, everyone. Therapy Without a Degree, chapter 213. We here. Joe Fucarino, you guys already know. To my right, in person, yes, I have Zane.
What's up? I'm back.
He's back. That's fucking.
You just inspiring me to come up with a different outfit each time I come here. It's not come in a leotard.
What? No, relax.
No, I have
relax.
to. I have to.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust
I'm
me.
definitely
You're not
that
that guy.
Turn this into a casting couch.
Right. Casting chair.
That's the sound I'm gonna have to switch it to.
Right.
And then we got Christian. What's up?
Hello.
The voice with no visuals yet.
Hey,
We're just gonna have the
that's a good
picture to
thing.
float.
Soon. You're gonna see. I'm gonna sneak a fucking camera in here.
We gotta inch him in.
Yeah, I'm gonna start moving your chair a little over and over and over every week.
I'm the Parks of the podcast.
Definitely the parts of it. We don't know. It's so ominous. Like, who is he? What's he look like?
What's he look like? Imagine if I just never tagged them too. They would really wonder, like, yo, who is it?
That's how you do it. That's why I always leave the tags in the comments. Because people, they click and they just disappear. But they're like, yo, where's the information?
And start making them look, right?
Right.
Making them work. What you been up to, man? Feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, I was home with Ace, and we were just having a ball and going on adventures. And went to an edible event in Jersey, which was dope.
That was dope. Junebug invited you to that, right?
Yeah. He posted it, and then I showed up, and then it was like mad. Everything was infused. Everything. They had chicken and waffles. They had everything. So it was like there was no, oh, what's this? Is this an edible? Yes. They had popcorn.
Infused air.
Air. Just I wouldn't be surprised. Just like this air is extra crisp.
This air smells a little bit.
Everybody was in such a good mood. Like I bumped into this big dude. He's like, yeah, everything good, man. You good? I was like, oh shit. Like everybody was just chill. I was like, all right.
It is funny, man. Yo, weed does make people so much more chill and so much more mellow. Like, I'll be at these paint and puff events, yo. Shout out to NJ Garden State of Mind. And everyone just be in their zone.
Right. Like, what? There's no... You're in your own zone. There's no need for aggression if you're trying to chill. Like, even if you wanted to, you were like, yo, just, like, relax. Like, you find different alternatives to chill out the situation.
Word.
That's it.
I think Tay just sent me. Oh, shit, he's on a roof.
He's on the rooftop.
Damn. Yep, he's on the roof.
Oh, shit.
It's on there. Be careful.
Right. I was like, I need to see the ladder.
Yeah, word, right? So you went to the edible event. What else?
No, that's it.
Okay, and then chill with Ace. You got Ace a raincoat?
Yeah, I got Ace a raincoat. It's pretty dope.
That shit
I
is
was
official.
tired of taking him out in the rain, and it was raining, and I was like, damn, I got to take him out. So I was like, I need an umbrella for myself, which I had gotten in like somewhere in my house. And then for him, I was like, I need something for him. So he's not going to come in, not get wet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel bad.
Nah, he was chilling in that too. He looked happy.
Well, it's tough to get him in there because he was just like, no, he wasn't having
trying to
it.
fight
And
it?
then I finally got it. He was like, oh, it's not that bad.
That's how Princess says she hates wearing clothes.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, they don't like that shit. They're like,
No.
what the fuck are you putting on me?
He's like, you better take this shit off. I was like, I'm sorry, man. It's just just one picture. And he just
I just
started
need the
posing.
picture.
And he just started posing.
You stupid. Yo, he's getting lit out here on Instagram too, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, I put he looks like, people love him because he looks like a dog that they saw when they were younger. So it's like giving them like this nostalgic, oh my God, your dog. And I was like, all right, let me capitalize.
Yeah, I had people stop me when I was walking them over here. I was about to be like, yo, I'm about to steal Ace.
Right.
Yo.
That's like Princess is going to be with the signs or whatnot. Like, Joe, don't love me no more.
Nah, that's my baby. That's my baby. I can't do that.
She's in the back like, I wish she would.
Yeah,
little
right?
butterfly knife in the corner.
Yo, she hates Ace.
Yeah, I know.
She was so mad. She was in my bedroom like, yo, fuck y'all.
He's like, take him home ASAP.
Exactly. But and don't mind our screen over here. I feel like our screen twitching a little bit. If it twitches a lot, Christian, just let me know. We'll move it. But yeah, fucking. I had a pretty eventful weekend. I saw this guy in the streets. I saw Christian.
Yes,
all
sir.
right. I saw him out and about. He was like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna go do some karaoke," and I was like, "You better fucking sing." Did you sing?
I sang.
You sang? Good. I was gonna pull up. I let him know too. I said in the eyes like, "You better," because I'll pull up. He's like, "Nah, chill, man. Just go do your thing. Go do your thing. Go do your thing." I was like, "All right, you lucky. You lucky. I want to go."
What song you sing?
Oh, I did Silk Sonic.
Silk
Had
Sonic.
to
What
leave
song?
the door open.
Oh, that's
How's
fire.
that go?
You don't know?
Nah,
you know
I
what song that is?
It's like one of those things where it's like you might say the artist, but I don't even know. Like,
So
is that
it's
guy?
Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak.
Oh, the new song
The
when they're
Motown one.
when they're in the studio.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that song.
Yeah.
I was like, I was thinking about.
No,
it.
but we always hit it with like the 2000 R&B and
this one, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Did you flap the jacket or whatever you were
Oh,
wearing?
it was a nice spot. They had like a stool and a mic stand there, so we were fucking around, and the lights are always going crazy. It's nice.
Good shit.
It
you've
was in
never done
Jersey?
it- yeah.
That's fire.
I went to one in Edgewater one time, and it was like this: you get your own room or
Yep.
whatnot, and you just kind of just go at it, and it has a nice couch and everything.
Well, speaking of karaoke, actually, that's something me and you got to talk about off air because a local venue might
They
need
trying?
that. Yeah, they're trying.
Oh,
They're trying to do it often. So
now they're starting to think like, yo, how do we get people to come in here besides our product? I don't know. Maybe you should interact with them.
The spot we went at, it was lit. There was like a wait, and we showed up at like after 11 o'clock, and we still had to wait. There was hella people. Like karaoke a thing.
yeah.
Like don't get it twisted.
That's like especially late night.
exactly.
No, it is, and
Yeah.
and the spot that I'm talking about did it for a while. They said before the pandemic, and they said they used to be lit. So they're down to get it back up if we
Therapy with the karaoke.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing. After I saw him, I went over to the Hilltop Bar in Lodi on Essex Street, and it was really, really dope because I was actually gonna take it down easy that night. I was gonna be home, not doing shit, and I was just scrolling through my stories, and I saw the dude Paul that performed at with Val at the therapy, music therapy.
The pianist.
Yeah, I saw he put a post up saying that he was in Lodi doing a gig, like in like a half hour. I was like, oh shit, I'm fucking there, because he was dope, and I love shit like that. I love music and all that, so I went over there, and I was there from 9 to 12, just jamming out, just having them play. They were doing all covers and shit. They didn't do no originals, but they did some dope ass covers, and it was like a lit crowd. It was like I was telling Christian before, it was like I like places that aren't like too crazy, but not too dead, like right in the middle. Like where the people are like having fun, but not having too much fun.
Not
And
getting lit.
They're drunk, but not too drunk.
Not crashing tables.
Yeah. And also though, but not that many people. Like the fact that I was able to find a seat was crazy. Like I don't like places where you gotta like I'm so close to somebody, or like the music is so loud and you gotta yell just to order a fucking drink and do gang signs. Like fam, I just want a water.
What place was this?
It was the Hilltop Bar. It's like a dive bar. I didn't even think that they would do music and shit like that, but they did, and it was dope. It was outside and shit. So we did that, and then Sunday was Gigi's baptism, so we went to that.
Who's Gigi?
Mikey's daughter.
Oh,
Yes, and getting old, man.
we're not that old.
Now we're getting old, man.
We're old, but we're not.
Every
that
time
old.
every time I go to one of those events, man, and shit like that,
Because people were having kids at like 22, 20.
nah.
Yeah, a lot of them. So like,
Yeah, I guess,
we're
but-
past that. Like people are
Yeah.
having kids younger. Now we're at that age where it's just like we're at that. This is like
now
the
you're the
30s.
expected.
Yeah, it's expected. So it's not like, oh, we're old. Like this is the age where it starts to be an adult.
Nah, we've been adults for a while, sir.
I don't know about that.
He's like, yo, not
I
me.
don't know about that.
Shut the fuck up, SpongeBob. Nah, but
And as he plays SpongeBob.
because it was a little longer than I had expected. But now the baptism was really, really dope. It was really, really fun. I was upset I didn't see Mr. Walt. Walt was supposed to make it, but fuck United Airlines. They were playing games and canceling flights. But yeah, man. Other than that, you've been dropping gems as always in the group.
Oh, you talking about the
in the Facebook
the
group.
pictures?
Not just in a group, in the Facebook group.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what you've been dropping in there, man. Let's see what we want to talk about. Supporting my man while he wishes his ex a happy heavenly birthday. That's dope. We feel like we kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
What is I don't know no man who's trying to go 50-50 on the bills.
We talk about that too
Yeah,
often. I don't want
that's-
the Kevin Samuels. To
Yeah,
just
Kevin Samuels gonna come out of
summon
you.
the Kevin.
Yo, he's just gonna.
Yo, one of these days
He's gonna hit me up. I'm like, let's talk. Let's
Not
talk.
even that. You're gonna come in with the suit, the glasses.
The fade.
Let me tell you something.
Little grays are like, yeah. I might play as him for Halloween. I don't
He's
know.
just gonna come here one day.
I'm
he-
ready for it.
he's just gonna
want to
pop
hear what he
up.
got to say. Cause I like to challenge people's like intellect, especially when it comes to things that are very one sided. Especially coming from him. I was just like I was like, I have a whole bunch of facts to share with you. Would you like to partake in some of this? Because he's like very one sided. Like he's like, yeah, based on these statistics and blah blah blah, like this is how it happens, but he hasn't kind of done that around the world. And it's kind of very isolated to just the United States, but even at a smaller scale because it doesn't represent everything. But it's just interesting seeing him go like so far right in terms of like his mindset. So that's why I always joke on him.
It's all the way right.
It's all
What you mean by far right? I got like
not that right.
elaborate.
let's hear.
Far right in terms of being on the opposite side, like, oh, men need, you gotta do this, women gotta do this, opposed to the opposite side where it's like kind of like people share different goals within a relationship. It's not like you do this and you do that. He's very, you do this, you do this. Your job as a man, do this. Your job as a woman, do that. That's like so far right to me.
What's crazy is because like it's all based off studies, statistics, and everything that's been out there, right? Like proven. You've got countries like Switzerland that they made it where, yo, pick what you want to do. Yeah, cancel me. Go ahead. Go ahead. I got a moment of silence. That's all the people unclicking and be like, I don't want to listen to this shit.
He's like, okay.
But then you still had women choose jobs that are like nursing, and you still had men choosing jobs when it came to like construction. There's this misconception. There's that cancel button again.
We gotta just have someone record. It's like cancel.
Yeah,
Like that's what I mean.
Where it's just like there's this wage gap. That there's this wage gap between the genders, but it's not based off the same job title. Like there's differences in between, like the nuances and all that stuff.
So if I'm let's say a construction worker, and there's a lady that's also a construction worker, there's gonna be a difference in pay.
I
Or is it
believe
gonna be a sub?
there's definitely going to be some discrepancies in that, but then I think it's also based off whether or not the woman goes on maternity leave, whether or not they do this and that. Like you got guys out there risking their lives every day, getting paid X amount of money, doing the jobs that nobody else want to do.
Right.
And then on top of that, you got women who are much more educated nowadays. Like the statistic shows that they're the ones graduating out of colleges, getting careers. And so it's like, yeah, you got all this stuff going on, but then people are just want to like generalize the whole thing about wage gaps.
Right.
And roles of gender.
Right.
But it's like sometimes it's like built within our DNA. And it's been there since the beginning where like we just tend to do things where down to like the hunters and gatherers and like the people that are nurturing the children.
I feel
I don't make the rules, guys.
No, there's a point there, but it's more so like it depends on where you're at, because there's certain places in the world where the woman says, no, I approach a man. You're like, what?
Yeah.
That's a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Where's that?
When not over here.
Where's that so I can move there?
So we always see on the United States side, and then there's certain other sides on the other world that kind of they're similar to our culture and how we do things over here. But as time goes by, there's other places that are like, yeah, woman does this, guy does this, and then that's it. And then they're starting to like, hey, we could do that too. Yes, everybody could do what you want to do. You shouldn't have to be paid differently to do certain things. But what they should do to help this battle out is to also have paternity leaves opposed to just maternity leaves.
Yeah, definitely.
Once you add paternity leaves, then you're gonna see a lot of interesting
Men
things
should get
happen.
that too, though.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
men,
paternity.
Yeah, men should definitely get it.
But then old men shouldn't be the ones trying to tell like what women can and can't do with their body.
Absolutely not. They can't be telling them what they do with it. It just doesn't make sense. And then the rules that they have, they're like, oh yeah, because of blank blank. I'm like, that's not how the body works. Like, do y'all like read a fucking book? Like, who's in the room with everybody? Like, I feel like there's not one lady in the room just, oh yeah, and they're like, no, we're not listening to you, Sarah. Like, what? It's just, to me, I think we need to really look at who's making these rules. Like, I need a picture of who's making these rules. Names. You know what I'm saying? Names and faces on who's making these rules for an overall. Like, there should be no men in the room dictating what a woman's body can and cannot do and what the woman can and do with their body.
Yeah.
I don't see how that's just.
Ooh. Can you adjust the screen phone a little bit? I don't know. For some reason, it keeps acting up. Either that or we have a ghost in the room.
Nah, I think it's just gonna keep on phasing out.
You sure?
Yeah, it's just that's it.
He's like, I'm not
It's
Pete.
the effect, yeah.
The effect.
Yeah, and also it's the TV too.
Nah, it's not. It's the wire. It's the wire. The wire be acting up a little bit. But yeah. Who the fuck are making these rules, yo?
When you follow the money, you find the truth.
Yeah,
That is where that is where it be. That is where it be. But kind of one thing I wanted to get into a little bit today. Do you guys ever get into that? Because I know it's kind of into like a lot of people now, and it's definitely probably because of obviously social media and things like that. But I think people by far are not giving themselves enough credit as they deserve. I think it's kind of like an overall thing. I think a lot of people are becoming very, very hard on themselves. And I definitely do think social media, obviously, he's like, for this one, I'm going to need the shades. he's like, for this one. He's like, for this one, we're going to need it. But, I feel like a lot of people now are very, very, very hard on themselves. I've just been noticing. Like, I feel like, for a while, maybe people were, but it just didn't seem as much as it is now. And obviously, I think that has a big deal, I guess, with social media, because social media is always saying, like, yo, they're coming at people like, if you don't have 7 streams of income, you ain't shit, or this, or if you're this, you're not shit mom. Do you guys think that has anything to do with it, or what?
Oh yeah, it's come to the point where it's like, if you're just doing a 9 to 5, like, you're behind on the times. It's like you have to be an entrepreneur in order to like look like you're doing something nowadays. But you still got people out there that just enjoy what they're doing. But if you enjoy what you're doing and then you're trying to put it into social media space, it's like you're kind of like inferior to the other guys because they got side hustles. They doing this and that on top of whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's no matter what you do, somebody's got something to say. That's how I see it.
What do you think?
What was the question?
Like, I think mad people are like very, very hard on themselves. Like lately. Like, I think a lot of people are
lately?
Yeah, just.
Or just in general?
I think lately, the last couple of years.
Probably social media, as like Christian said, puts an added pressure. If you remove it, I'm not saying removing it because there's ways to make a healthy relationship with social media. Exactly. But if you just remove it altogether, where are you gonna showcase like what you do on a daily basis? For the average person, where are you gonna showcase it?
Yeah.
At the same time too, it's like social media has been evolved into a space where it's like it needs to garner likes, it needs to garner conversation, right? And the way people post, it's like they're always gonna try to show the perfect version of it. It's like they use social media as a canvas, and you're never gonna show your mistakes. You're never gonna show the downtimes. Like people, generally speaking, that use social media, they're just showing the highlights.
Yeah.
You're getting a fraction of what's really going on in their lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone's putting on that quote unquote filter.
Yeah.
Right.
All the best stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then if you wanted to be an actor and being seen on TV, there was no outlet under that. You know what I'm saying? Like social media, when that came to, oh, I could post what I do. I could post my behind the scenes. People can follow my process like a documentary. Essentially, all the successful Instagram accounts treat their account as if it's a documentary that's giving them pieces, and that's why people are like, oh, you know, you have to post this and post that, because essentially you're building a collective documentary on your process. If you were to post pictures of what you look like, if Instagram is even around 20 years from now, you could take all those images and all those pictures and kind of just show your progress. You know what I'm saying? Most people, they don't want that. They kind of wish that there wasn't that in the beginning, because then I could go to work and I don't have to see any of the coworkers or any girls that maybe you like. Like, it just opens up your, like, wait, there's more options. I don't have to be with Sarah down the block anymore.
Yeah.
What
are you saying social media does?
Yeah, like it kind of opened up your horizon in terms of like awareness. Because how often are you able to take yourself and put yourself in like Japan or something like that?
Yeah, 100%. Or just see the culture, the art in Japan, the scene. I love social media.
You could travel without leaving your house.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have so many options and it's overwhelming, and then now we're at a point where we're starting to kind of calm down a bit, because that was like 20 that was like less than that. 2012 IG came out. When did Facebook come out?
Like 08.
08.
Yeah.
So maybe I want to say 2006. It was like kind of like, all right, everything in the United States. You know what I'm saying? We see.
Actually, I think Facebook was earlier. It was like 05. We just didn't really catch wind of it until like
because
07.
MySpace was still a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was definitely like 05.
So they say 05. That was when the core, everything prior to that was what you saw on TV, or you had to go to the movies or anything like that. So it was very, not that it was a simplistic, but your thoughts were more focused. If I go to get a job, I'm going to get a job, make money, get my own place, do what I got to do. I wasn't thinking, oh, what's such and such doing? People are so comfortable, which is fucking annoying. And instead of just having a conversation, everybody just pull out the phone. It's like the easiest insecurity defense mechanism I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The moment you're in a silent room, or if people are in the room, people's phones are out and they're looking at it.
Yeah, of course.
They don't understand. Like, granted, like, and people are like, oh, it's not rude if they want to be on the phone. Maybe they got something to. If you're on a date, would you want someone to be on your phone? Or if you're with your friends, you want them to just be on your phone and you chilling with them? No.
Well, yeah, that's situational though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it all depends on what we're doing. But it's like, I don't know. See, I feel weird about the topic because I'm like, I'm kind of like, I teeter between both. Like, I'm like, damn, like, okay, well, I know the effort that people need to put in. But at the same time, there's some people that do put in a lot of effort, but they're just really still hard on themselves.
That's because they never gave themselves a limit.
There's definitely pros when it comes to social media, because it's like you don't have to limit yourself to just whatever is in your immediate environment, right? Now you can tap into a space and find a group of people that think like you, so that you don't feel alone. But if you use social media in a sense where it's like you're comparing your success to somebody else's, that's where things become a problem. Like, these apps are built to be addictive for you to stay on as much as possible. So it is about balance, because I've gotten into arguments about like that there is a pro to social media versus just all cons. It's all negative. You know, there's people in the business world that like study these apps and just try to find all the information that shows how detrimental it is. But like you said, if you know how to use it, if you're just figuring out the formulas and trying to make something out of it, it can work that way.
For y'all, how often do you feel like you actually kind of stop and like look back at the things you've been doing to try to see if was it enough or was it not enough?
Maybe Sunday when I chill out, I maybe take a peek at my phone, but more so through the computer. I don't even try to touch my phone on the weekend, and I'll just go on Instagram and I would like see like other things going on.
Not even really. I mean, like just like your work in general.
Yeah, Instagram.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah. So like you'll look back at your page
Yeah.
and be like, damn, okay, maybe I could have did more shoots this week or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I see when's the last time I posted like certain things, like certain shoots, because I know which shoot that I shot. And it's like, oh, it's time to post. But I haven't really been posting a lot, really, because it's just, I don't know. That's just me.
Okay. Does it ever bring you down, or do you feel like you're doing at times like when do you start feeling like, damn, maybe I'm doing too much, or do you ever get hard on yourself and be like, damn, I could have did more shoots, or I could have did more gigs or whatever? Like, what is that like for you?
I think it's more so I give myself like, all right, at least post like 4 for the month or something. Like that's the limit. If I don't post 4 for the month, then clearly I'm just lacking, and it's affecting the business at that point. So it's like I have 30 or 20 something days in a month, and at least 4 posts.
4 posts. Okay.
4 posts at least. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, like I work on other projects, and like I have to give myself time to like work on that, and then give myself free time and whatnot, and then have time to play with Ace. Like you gotta like schedule all this stuff in, because you don't want to just like, all right, I'm gonna focus. I don't want to be that person just focus on one thing, such as like, all right, social media and doing this, and then meanwhile life is happening, and then you could go back and look at an old post. We can't go back in time.
Yeah.
To experience in the moment where, oh yeah, remember that day it was all nice for a week and whatnot, and the weather was You can't go back to that.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of balance yourself and organize and make time to go outside. And people argue, you don't need to make time to work. You could do that later. Later is not existent if you're not putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like people should slow down and enjoy reality.
Yeah. And do you think a lot of people are like that? A lot of people are just too hard on their work and what they're doing. Like if it's entrepreneurs or whatever,
if you're
it's
comparing
parents,
yourself to other people, it is going to be extremely hard.
Which I think that's what a lot of people are doing. A lot of people are seeing, like, even like fitness. There's probably, like girls who see other fitness models and in the gym and
I'm not doing it hard enough for. I gotta show my booty, or maybe I gotta reveal more skin, or maybe I gotta do it like that person if I'm gonna get as much attention, because they're getting attention. But that plays into the insecurity.
Yeah.
Doing
crazy workouts. That's how some people start doing, not eating and fasting too much and all those different things, like because of those, because they're being too hard on themselves.
But you could also say the same thing for television.
Yeah.
Honestly, like that's how it was before, where it's just like what you see on TV. That's people like, I need to be like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's what people see. Like whatever the media kind of puts out, it's up to the person to kind of mediate that for themselves. But not everyone has like another person to help them through that process, and they just let their imagination just go wild. And it's like, yeah, I'm not like this, and the people have disorder where they see themselves not how they want to be. You know what I'm saying?
What's that fine line that where would you say is that balance between striving for those goals, but then also not like losing yourself? Like if there's a girl that sees like a fitness model and she's like, yo, this girl's killing it, getting 6-pack abs, and she wants, those dreams and those goals too. So what's that balance of saying like, damn, okay, you got to work really, really hard to get to that goal, but also not overdo it to where you're like going insane?
I think they have to ask the question is, are you doing this for yourself, or are you doing this for what others will think about you? And that's an important question for them to answer only, is because we could come up with a perfect method along what the perfect balance is, but they have to ask the question, like, who are you doing this for? That's why for me, Instagram, I say I'm gonna post like 4 times, but Instagram wants you to post X amount of this, X amount of that. Like people are trying to follow the social media's algorithm, opposed to let me post on my time. They're gonna always change, which will give them anxiety. But if you have your own set method, then that gives you more control and less anxiety when it's on your time. You know what I'm saying? That's like someone comes in here and be like, "Hey, Joe, I need you to hurry up and blah blah this, that, and the third." But they do that shit every day to you.
Yeah.
But it's always different at different times.
Yeah, different time of the day.
Opposed to be like, "Yo, I could come outside at 8:00. Which one is better?"
Yeah.
So that's how I feel like you got to control the time yourself. And if you're you're doing fitness and you're seeing, well, yeah, that's a great body goal. You could use it as a reference, but I wouldn't say like I want to just do that, because you limit your own potential if you're always kind of comparing yourself to others.
Yeah.
Like you could maybe do better, but you're focusing on what they're doing.
Exactly.
That's the thing. It's like, especially with the audience, people think that the audience is just numbers, but the audience is individuals also, and sometimes they can see through when something is fake or not genuine. So, me being new to this, it's like trying to find out when to share, when not to share. There are moments where I'm catching myself like, oh, I want to catch this. Like if I'm going out with Kay or I'm with my friends, I want to capture this and maybe edit it and post it up. But then it's like trying to figure out when's a good time to share things and not. Like we've talked about this before. You know what I mean? Because like you're getting in that creative space and it's just like, yo, this would be dope. But then it's like you're kind of in two places at once because it's like you're hanging out, having a good time, and now you're kind of like, I can make something out of this. So I asked you guys that because you guys been doing this for a while. It's kind of like what you was asking Zane. When is that balance there? Like when do you make time for yourself rather than make time for content?
It reminds me of a movie called
Or whatever you do, not just content.
Yeah.
What's it? The Life of Mitty, The Life of Smith.
The one with Steve Carell, right?
No, Ben Affleck. Not Ben Stiller.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, Ben Stiller. And there was a moment where there was a shot of the wolf, and he was gonna take the picture of the wolf, and he was like, "You're not gonna take a picture?" And he looked at him, was like, "Sometimes just best to just capture the moment in here." And when I saw that movie, and I was a photographer, like starting out then, and it just clicked, and I was just like, that was it. That was the moment of like, you have to make a choice on, are you going to take pictures and do video and all that, or you're not going to enjoy the moment. And I'll catch myself doing this when I record an event where I'm looking through a screen and the event is over around the corner of the screen, and
you're watching it through the lens,
and I'm watching it through the lens. It's not the same.
That's like people at concerts. You know what I mean? It's like
they're looking on their phone.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
like I need to record this to share to people to prove that I was there, rather than like, yo, you spent the money because you love this artist and you wanted to be there,
right?
But then of course it's like it's all about that.
It's a balance because like. I actually fight a lot of that, especially if we're talking like content creating and moments and shit like that. Because I'm a big picture guy, just in general, beyond content, beyond all that. Because as much as that's true, at least me, right? Me personally, like I don't be remembering everything, even if it was a dope moment. Like sometimes I just forget about silly shit that just happened, and I just like I love photos for that reason. Like I love photo and video for that. That's like one of my top loves. Like I love photography for that reason, that you could just capture a fucking moment. Like you could look at that and you can remember everything about that day.
I can remember. I remember how long it took.
You can remember everything.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Without that, yes, you would have, but like just different. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why to me, there's such a beauty in that we can capture our moments, right? But like now, like we all said, I definitely caught myself in those moments too. Like at a concert and I'm looking in my phone to watch it. So I've had to limit myself now, and now I've tried to get more smarter with my content. Like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna bring a tripod. Like I'll do, because I used to be the one doing maybe two things at once or whatever. Now I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna bring the tripod. Or if I don't want to do the tripod, I'm gonna record for what I need, because I've gotten smarter with knowing. Like when I went to the Lloyd Banks concert, sometimes even to other shows, I almost caught myself a little recording too much, and then I realized I'm recording way more than I need, that I wouldn't even use. But then I have to fight myself because I'm always like, you want to shoot forever and everything because you never know what you could use. So it's now just finding that balance between the both. Or if like I'm shooting, I'm not looking at that. So when I was at that Lloyd Banks concert, I was like, you know what, Joe? I was like, you're going to hold that phone and we're going to record. I was like, but if you fuck up a little bit of the shot, that's on you because you're going to watch the show. At that same moment, I was like, normally you're here and you're looking at it.
Right.
But I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go like this. So I'm going to record because I know I need the content. I goes, but I'm gonna use my fucking eyes, and it gets tough because you wanna look and you wanna make sure you're not fucking the shot up and shit like that. But I was like, you know what? I have a steady hand. I'm confident that I'll be able to do a little bit of both. But it sounds silly, But it's those little things that really kind of matter in those moments, you know, especially if we're talking about like creating content or whatever. But this is because there's so many people that don't even do content. This is just on a much larger scale of just like you just seeing things, and even if it's you seeing things on social media, which we all think that's pretty much the cause of it, that everyone's so hard on themselves. It's just that, you know, there's such a beauty in the process that people don't understand. There's a beauty in that, you know, there's a very big beauty in that process, but and there's a big but. I'm also one to think that only 3% of the population actually understand the amount of effort that you need to do to accomplish something.
Yeah, that's. I was just gonna say that, and that's basically like, you know, there's a very small percentage that can look at social media, especially like the people in this room, and can see it for what it is, and then like, too many people are just trying to copy the formula rather than remix it, personalize it, and make something out of it. Like what I find beautiful about social media and the people that are starting to take off, you know, when you follow them and they were just like a small little thing, it's they don't get lost in it. They're not just trying to do what was successful before them. They're trying to do it in a way that is a fine balance between what they're trying to do, and on top of that, they're enjoying it along the way. Because too many people are just looking for that end result. They just that viral moment or something.
Yeah. You know, you're right. A lot of people do that. They're just going off trends and trying to stay on top of every single trend and all that bullshit. And it's like, you just got to find that balance, what works for you. But like, I do also want people to know, because I'm going to be doing a whole thing on this on the Jersey Media. I'm going to be talking about effort, because people don't understand. Like I said, I think it's 1% to 3% of people actually understand the amount of effort that you need to put into something. Like, whether we're talking about losing weight, whether we're talking about whatever, being a podcast, or what we're talking about running a restaurant, like whatever it is. That's why I fuck so much with Grant Cardone and his book and the 10X movement and all that, because you literally have to do things 10 times harder than what you thought. And that's what he states. And I think like only 1% of the world actually know that. They think that you can get by doing average work and get average, and you're not going to get the goals that you want to get. But it's like, okay, so then you do that. You have to know that. But then also, how do you not get lost in the sauce of like not knowing when is too much, you know? So it's like, okay, yeah, you want to tell people, or you want to advise, or even for yourself, you want to say, all right, I'm going to go all out and I'm going to give my 120%, but also know that it's 120% and you don't got to go 180. You know?
That's that fine line, because you've got people talking about it on YouTube. People that stream,
Yeah.
whether it's just video games, lifestyle blog, or whatever. It's like, how do you make sure you don't burn out?
That was like a sacred moment for me. Like, that's like meditating is playing video games. So when they opened that market of like recording yourself play video games, I was like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of like, not that I have to, but it's just like being in that sense, like every time I gotta remember to turn it on, and like having the Twitch people watch me as I play, and it's just like more surveillance. Like, how far are we gonna get with this? You know, how much are we gonna? You know, it's just, I feel like it's getting too much, but they're just gonna keep pushing and pushing and pushing until everything becomes transparent.
What do you mean?
Like everything,
Like the Truman Show.
like the Truman Show. Exactly like the Truman Show. And then you could tune into each individual person.
Huh.
I think we just gave him an idea.
You probably got people that are already there. You've got people that have streamed like for a week straight. Camera never turned off. And
cameras everywhere.
Yeah. And they're sleeping, and the stream is still going on, and people are still tuning in.
Yeah.
Because they just want to be a part of that lifestyle. They want to be, or like people that listen to podcasts. It's kind of like you're listening to your friends. You know what I mean? You're finding things that are relatable.
What's up, friends?
Hi, guys.
What's going on? We love y'all.
Yeah. But it's like, like Zane's pointing out, like, when is it too much?
Well, they do that in the reality shows as well. When they like Jersey Shore and all that, people are watching them just do everything. Even when they sleep, there's cameras and whatnot. Obviously, they sign off on it, but it's just like that's starting to bleed into what we're doing to our lives. See, when they sign up, at least they're getting paid to do that. We're not getting paid to do that. So we're just giving the platform more content. And you're like, yeah, let me tune into Joe's life. Camera here, camera there. He gets in the car, camera there. Now you got to watch what you say.
Yeah.
Think about it.
No, of course. But I mean,
you always got to watch what you say.
Exactly. And as a content creator, it's like, you know what I think you really need, man, because it's tough. I think you just need other people around you that, I think it kind of goes back to that saying of like your net worth is your network. Or your network is your net worth. I said it backwards. I think that's really what it is. I think you need those people around you to be able to tell you and just to be honest with you. Like, yo, Christian, you could be doing more. You could be doing less. Because it's a very tough thing, I think. I think it is really, really tough. Because sometimes you may not know what's too much, what's too little. Shit like that. It might be a hard balance to say. You know what I mean? Like with this, there's always numbers you could throw out to people. You know what I mean? Like I be telling people like, all right, like as long as we've been working jobs, right? It's 40 hours a week is like a full-time thing, right? That's kind of like the number we've been going by. So I'm like, all right, if you're an entrepreneur, are you spending at least 8 hours a day in your business? So, I mean, maybe people could use that as like but everything is all situational, because it all depends on what you're doing. If you're a fitness person, are you spending 8 hours a day towards your goals as for fitness or what? Some people will say that maybe it's too much. Some people will say that's too little.
But and this was said on other podcasts, even on as recent as the last Joe Budden episode, right? Yeah. It's like, how do you people want to value the time based off what they're doing on an hourly wage. For example, like the analogy that Parks gave when it came to like you trying to fix a sink. It might take you 2 days. You bring a plumber over. He might be able to get it done within like 20 minutes, but he's still gonna charge you $300. And now you're being like, yo, it takes me a full day to make $300. But here comes somebody who specializes in it and is able to do it quicker. But now you're arguing within yourself because it's like, how come it's $300? It's like, if that's too much to you, then yeah, fix it yourself. Learn how to do it. Yeah. But then it's gonna take you that much time.
It's gonna take you time, but it's gonna cost you.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, like,
and you might not do a good job.
You might not do a good job. Yeah, you might not do a good job. But then I realize the people that actually go through doing it by themselves, and then the amount of money that they put into correcting whatever that issue is, they realize like, damn, if I were to do this for a living, I'm gonna have to charge X amount.
Yeah.
It gets to the point where people that specialize like photography, podcasts, Jersey media, and all that stuff, it's like you guys made it to a sense where you specialize in what you're doing. So why are you going to devalue yourself by charging less just to
100%
to make it out for whoever your client is? It's like, right. Nah, your time is your time, and you know what you're offering. This is why you're able to charge X amount.
Right.
But even that plumber, though, if that plumber isn't putting in 8 hours a day worth of plumbing expertise, whatever it is, if it's advertising his business, doing the actual work, educating himself, whatever it is, if he's not doing 8 hours of plumber stuff for the day, he's only going to get 300 maybe once. He's not going to get the 300 as often as he could if he was putting in that effort. You know what I'm saying? So like that's it. But then also sometimes people go too much. People start, instead of doing that 8 hours a day, maybe people are doing 13 hours a day. You know? Or sometimes people are doing that 8 hours and only think they're doing 2 hours worth of work.
Some people just feel like that work that they do, especially entrepreneur, that's all that there is. And they'll make sacrifice to their quote unquote free time. Yeah. And that's when it starts bleeding out. And then they're just like, people looking at them like, hey, we should, go out. Like, yeah, I would, but this is the time I dedicate. You know what I'm saying? Granted, it might be situational, and they're telling you 3 or 4 months in advance. Yeah, and it's just like it's what you value. If you value working like 15 hours a day, if not more, then that's what you're gonna do. Will you get burned out? That's up to you. Yeah. Some people that's their life.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone gets burnt out at different levels, but I don't even really know if it's like a burnout conversation. It's more just like, you just feel like you should be at a better place than what you are, Like I see a lot of people that, are doing pretty good, like they're working pretty hard for themselves. But then they're like, damn, well, I should have more of this. I should have more of this. I should have more of this. I should have more ticket sales. I should have more clothing orders. I should have more clients.
Is it a crime to want more, or is it a crime to want less? Like,
It depends because if you're speaking to yourself in a sense that it's like, yo, you're not where you're supposed to be, but you do that constantly, like you're literally just working yourself to death.
So that means you're not giving no self praise, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
That's what he's saying.
But also at the same time of like, okay, but like I don't want to tell people like, oh yeah, praise yourself if you ain't do shit. I'm just keep it 100% because there's a lot of people out here that ain't doing nothing. They're doing a bare minimum, working an hour a day on their business, and it's like that's the bare minimum. If you ain't getting nobody, that's your problem. But then there's other people who are doing 8 hours a day to their business or even to their job. Like if I'm not getting a promotion, I'm giving you, are you giving 120? You don't really know.
I think it's more the energy versus the time.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, how you speak to yourself too is also very detrimental, or it could be very positive too, like how your output on life is.
Yeah.
If you give yourself praise on terms of, hey, you just made like a deal that was $1,000 and whatnot, go and take yourself out on Friday and blah blah and celebrate. I don't think there's a lot of self celebrations. People wait usually in their birthday or Christmas, and then that's probably about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't give themselves a celebration in terms of like an achievement.
Of course.
Most people just go out because their friends are going out. You know what I'm saying? Or they've been invited. But it's like, hey, man, I'm celebrating. I made a big-ass deal. You want to come with me? And if they say no, I guess I'm not going.
Yeah. That makes sense. Because you're not looking at those. And that's what, because I say this all too because I think the small wins, and we've talked about this before, is like the small wins do matter so much. And those small steps, like those small wins that you do all the time is what gets you there. That's why a lot of times I always look back. I always reflect. I be looking through the photos of the things, we be talking about it all the time. We're like, damn, we did this event. We did this event. We did this in 3 years. Like, oh shit, wow. Because I don't think it's good to always be so hard on yourself as long as you're putting in the work.
Yeah. You gotta, there's that fine balance with grit and hustle versus just being too hard on yourself to the point that you're going to burn yourself out like crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody's got a different pace. Everybody thinks it's a sprint, but it's a marathon. It's a journey. Like you're going to get there when you're going to get there.
Yeah.
I think more of the journey is better in terms of seeing it like that, opposed to being like, all right, like, like once the marathon is done, it's done. You know what I'm saying? But the journey is just like, that's a life thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you might meet this person was good in this situation and not, or they helped you. That's all about the business aspect,
Word.
Going on to your point about like counting your wins and stuff, right?
Yeah.
What about those roadblocks? Because sometimes those roadblocks, those are going to be the moments where it's like you're trying to see whether or not you're too hard on yourself. Because somebody hits a roadblock, they see it as a failure to the point where it's like, oh, everything's fucked up now. So what stops you from like getting to that point? You don't want to hit that low, right? Like people sometimes they take forever to overcome something, or they don't even overcome it. It's like it's over. That's it. It's done. It's said and done with. So it's like how do you fine tune on that?
I think once you've exhausted your own resources, you gotta link up with someone who has a better like that's doing something different and moving along, because then it might open your eyes to be like, yo, that's actually a great idea, or like that kind of inspired me to do it this way, because everybody has a different way of approaching it. And I feel like if you kind of attach yourself with other people on their projects, they might have a different way of approaching it that you've never thought about. That's how you get out of it. Because once you exhaust your own resources, like, well, I use all 7 of the methods that I normally use to take care of the situation, but there's literally 1 trillion plus other methods to do that. And in order to explore that, you gotta network with people and link up with people, or maybe ask questions to people within your field, like, how did you approach this situation before? and then you be surprised on the answer that you get.
Yeah, that shit is big. People like people, just networking and being around good, positive people. That shit is so undervalued and so underappreciated that it's fucking nuts.
Right, people don't utilize it. And be like, yo, you work in the medical field, and say you in a situation where I don't know how to handle this, and I don't know, do you contact your colleagues and be like, yeah, maybe you should try it like this. Now you have an extra option.
That's true, yeah.
And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But
you know what it is? It's like people in the moment, because I find myself doing it too. It's like you don't want to necessarily feel like a burden to somebody. So people stop themselves. They get in their own way in a sense where it's just like, I have to figure it out on my own. I think a lot of people actually think like that, but they just don't want to admit it.
They consider themselves incompetent if they ask another colleague.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that we touched on a lot of that when we had that episode about not asking for help.
Oh, that's a big. Most people said no.
That was a big popular episode, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people hate asking for help.
And it could be like, yeah, ask them, to help you out with the situation you're in. Perfect idea, but I don't like asking for help. Well, what the fuck?
Nah, you gotta ask, yo. You gotta ask because you just never know.
I think that goes along with like Western mentality where it's like we promote.
Speaking of asking for help, I'm gonna ask you for a ride to mechanic after this. If you could.
I know somebody parked in your car.
I mean, I just remembered. I was
I want to make sure to ask him on the show so that way.
Nah, you can tell me no on the show. What are you gonna say? No one listens to this.
You think so? Play that shit back.
Imagine your great grandmother call you. She'd be like, "Yo, wait a minute, you told Joe no on live?
You on live? Wow, disrespectful." That'd be funny. So.
I'm gonna just start asking all the shit that I wanted to say on the pod.
No, I'm
be like, "Yo, we're gonna film a movie tomorrow, right?"
I'm not gonna hold back. That's why I said I'm gonna tell you after.
It's like, nah, man, I gotta go
healthy boundaries,
right?
I gotta go pick up Ace. No, I'm just joking.
Right.
No,
sorry, I cut you off.
But no. But that's basically
Wait, who was talking?
It was him. It was perfect timing. I had to, right?
It's like promoting individuality, right?
Right.
But to the point where it's like people get so prideful, they don't want to ask for help. But human beings, we about like that community,
right?
Stuff that you guys are trying to build and stuff like that. It's like not too many people want to think that way, even though they know they should.
I mean, if I see it like this, if you ask someone for help and their character for the moment is revealed, it's not like a character that they'll be for the rest of their lives, but in that moment they show you like, yeah, maybe they're just not about helping you, or maybe you'll get that person that will help you to the fullest extent. I'll never forget the time I asked someone for help, and that was already hard enough to ask for someone to help, and you would think, mediocre responses typical. They're like, oh, I'll do what I can. I'll reach out. No, this person in particular was a rare unicorn, and they utilized their every ounce of everything just to help me out, and they put their help on top of that, and they helped me out in a major way. So, if you don't ask. If closed mouth doesn't
100%.
get fed. And that's it.
And if you're questioning a lot of those different things, ask people that you're surrounded by, because people that you're surrounded by usually could pretty much see what you're doing. People that you're close with, like whether it's because a lot of times people could be thinking they're being a bad mother or a bad father. They're being hard on themselves because I'm not being the best mom I could be. I'm being, like there's so many things that you could be hard on yourself with. So a lot of times you'll just ask your husband, yo, do you think I'm being, like a good mother? Do you think I could be better? Do you think I could, what things do you think I could improve on? Like a lot of times people don't want to ask those type of questions. They definitely don't want to ask for help. And then they don't want to ask those questions of like, damn, what could I do better? I try to ask you pretty often. I'm like, yo, what am I doing that's trash? What am I doing that's good? Like you got to ask these questions, sometimes from people that see you, because maybe you're overthinking it. Like I have, like Val asks me all the time, and she's like, and I'm like, yo, Val, you're good. Like you're doing a lot. Like you're doing it, you're doing. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like so, sometimes you got to ask these questions. You got to ask your friends or ask your people, like other creatives. Like if you're a fucking cook, ask your other fellow chef or whatever. Like, oh, you think Could I do better? Could I add more hours? Can I not?
That's the search of constructive criticism. You gotta be careful on who you ask.
Exactly.
People who have a good judgment, and also they're also sympathetic of your questions. Because sometimes I ask questions that are so like dumbfounded. Like there's like, you should know this, but if you treat me like a dickhead or an idiot, then that just reveals your character, and that's why most people kind of don't want to ask. But like for it'll be like it'll be the simplest thing, like for example, it could be something like cooking or something like that. Like, I don't know how to boil rice.
What are you, an idiot?
Definitely gonna put that. But yeah, whack. I don't
get this shit the fuck out of here.
I don't know how to cook. Shut the fuck up. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I don't fucking talk to you.
I was answering back to him for you.
But yeah, like say like something like that. Like, how do you cook rice? And then you have like a response where it's just like, what do you mean you don't know how to cook rice? Well,
that's why I don't understand people, whether it's fitness, whether it's whatever. It's just like everybody started somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Not everyone like woke up one day and they an expert. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like you needed help at one point, and now it's like you got to a point where you can help somebody, but then people are just like, nah, fuck everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And I definitely, like, I don't say ask just one person. I sometimes ask like 4 people. I'll submit the same thing to the same 4 people, and then I'll come up with an average, answer, because maybe one person's biased, too. Like, that's even why we started this whole pod. Like, some people are biased. They don't really know. You ask them for advice or perspective. They're maybe a little off with it because they know you, but like, ask like a handful of people that are around you. Like, yo, do you think I could be promoting my business more? Or whatever the fucking case is. Just ask, for people that, like you said, not people that are going to be fucking dickheads,
Right. And that's why people, all right, this is the wildest shit ever. I realize that people, when they have a negative experience, they remember that shit way more than a positive experience. It's like, I don't know why, it's like it doubles. Oh, negative experience and then positive experience. Negative experience, and every single time. And they use that as a means of like, yeah, I asked the question and I'm not going to ask any more questions because I don't want to feel that way.
You don't want to feel that negative.
I don't want to feel that negative because it never feels good, especially when you get rejected or someone tells you something and then you didn't receive it well because you're only human. You're like, I don't like that feeling. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna do that thing again that caused that negative reaction. So if I ask a question and I get that, then that's why I don't ask certain questions. Yeah. So that I feel like people should just ask questions anyway. Whatever you get, what I'm saying, take it with a grain of salt and ask someone else. They might give you a better response and be more sympathetic.
Exactly. Just know who you're, and that's back to just keeping your environment correct. Because, like you surround yourself by dope individuals. So, if you had to ask them a question, like, you're around a lot of photographers, right? Right. So, like, and people that you admire and people that you look up to. So, if you were to send a fucking photo and send that and then be like, guys, like, do you think I'm coloring right now to the best of my potential? Right. Or do you think I'm not doing it good enough? And like, you could just ask them straight and that they would give you a right answer. Right. Like, nah, bro, you're killing it. You're good. Like, don't sweat it.
Right. No, I do that.
And then they'll be like, and then you'll feel relieved and be like, oh, I don't need to be so hard on myself.
Right.
Or if they tell you, you could do some work. I'll send you some videos to help you out. And
I would much prefer that opposed to not saying anything at all. That's the shit that pisses me off. Oh, and everything is good. Everything is not good. Like, when you see it's not good and then they say, no, it's good. And you're just like, I'm going to have to ask somebody else because clearly it's either you're not telling me the truth because, like, there's clearly an indication there's something wrong here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't surround yourself with just yes men.
Right, exactly.
You like, a true friend's going to call you out on your bullshit.
Right.
And there's never an excuse because I also hear the person that's yelling back at me saying, Joe, what if I don't have nobody? There's a lie. You do have somebody because there's Facebook groups. There's other even if you don't know
if you
them,
don't have anybody, find them.
Yeah. No, 100%. Because I know there's people on there saying, "Oh, well, I don't have those photographer friends, or I don't have this." They are out there. You know what I'm saying?
Go
Like
on Facebook
yeah.
group. I'm a big advocate for it because you find a group. They're like, oh, like I'm in a group. It's called WB/Fox Kids, and they only post nostalgic things from old shows that I forgot about. And I see it on my wall, and I'm like, and everybody's like, yeah, remember that show? Remember Beetleborgs and all? I was like, yo, that shit's fun. That's the type of group. If they had a fucking meetup, I would show up if it was just
Word.
like something like that. And it's a Facebook,
Yeah.
but that's how you make new friends. But you have to find them. They're not gonna just grow. The lonelier I get, the then all of a sudden a magical person is gonna pop. No, you have to find them.
Yep.
You have to.
Yep.
If you feel like you have none, that means you need to do work and find them. They're not gonna just knock on your door.
And then usually once you're doing that and you talk and you're transparent with these people, they'll let you know honestly if your effort or whatever, or if you're if you're doing the best you could do at the moment. Because a lot of times people question that shit all the time, and like we said in the beginning of this, social media now is just not making it any better. So whatever it is, ask the people, man, because sometimes people are stressing out way too much and being way too hard on themselves, and it's just not healthy.
Right.
It's just not healthy. Like, I go all the fuck out and I fucking hustle my ass off, but like, I be knowing like I do all I could do, and sometimes it's like I be telling you, I'm like no, like I'm tapped out. Like I do what the fuck I could do. I try not to be hard on myself at all because I'm like, yo, I know I gave my fucking all, and if not, well, I'll try to do better. But if not, that shit is mad unhealthy. You get depressive, anxiety, you start stressing, you start getting burnt out, and you start thinking, oh, I could be doing more. Like, nah. You good?
No, it's Ace's.
Ace's alarm?
Dinner time.
Dinner time. Now we about to be out of here anyway. Christian, you shouting out anything for this week?
I told you about it when we were at chilling at Val's birthday, but
the 2 animes?
There's this one anime that it's ongoing. It's almost done for the season. It's called To Your Eternity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
I didn't even look up the trailer. I got to check that out.
Yeah, that's something different. It's not like your super action thing, but me and KB on that, and it's just like we're caught up to the point that now we're waiting every week for the episode, and the season's almost done.
Is it season 1?
Yeah, it's just one season.
All right, I got you.
What's the name of it?
To Your Eternity.
To Your, and what is it, Netflix?
It's like Crunchyroll or whatever, VRV, or just anime websites.
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't know.
Shout out to the people that don't pay for anime.
I don't know what those are, but
I was just about to say, I was like, you need to know, DM me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's on the link, $2.99 link. I forgot too. Yeah, we did have Val's surprise party too.
That was lit.
Yeah,
That was lit. Shout out to Val for
Shout out
having
to
a
Val.
party.
Yeah, that was dope.
Birthday party.
I'm glad everyone came out. She needed that. That shit was fire, yo. We had a good time too. Just chill, just something like simple, shoot some pool. Y'all played, right?
Yeah. I didn't play Christian though, so we gotta just play to.
Yeah, play again. We
gotta go to Billiards.
Yeah, we go to load up billiards.
Yeah.
Let's go. I didn't play either, just because like I was really stressed out that day. Like I was like mad stressed. I had a text saying like, "Yo, just."
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was like, "Be there for me mentally."
Oh, we were sure as hell that.
I was like, yeah, and also like I've never been that person to where I had to bring the person there. I got to bring Val to the event. And I was like, well, if I do that, who's gonna like coordinate everything?
I mean, but
I can't be two places at once.
Right.
I was like, save me. See, ask for help. See, I asked him for help. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anyway, old Joe would have been like trying to be two places at once.
He would have Val just waiting there while he went real quick. Like, I thought you were in the bathroom. I was in the bathroom. I had to go home real quick.
Yeah, that'd be old Joe. That would be old Joe. But what about you, Zane? What you shout out for this week?
I thought you were looking at Christian. Me, I'm shouting out. What's the show that I watch? I forgot. I'm gonna shout out the event that I went to called High Society. Went there recently, and it was at like a hotel top. It was beautiful. They had a whole bunch of tables. Everything was edible, like just infused food and everything. I had a. It was just dope vibe. Like like it sends good vibes and whatnot. It just felt cool being there. And I was just walking back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of checking out everybody's table and whatnot. people like, hey, how's it going? I was like, hey, how's it going? Like, you don't get greeted. I don't get greeted often, especially when I go places. So it's just like dope.
It was good customer service.
Yeah, what's dope about that too is just like if you just think about it, something like legal marijuana in Jersey, like
The Garden State.
as far as like a year ago, something like that would never exist, and now we're entering the space where it's like this shit about to go off.
It's wild, man. Like when I be at the GSM
Insane.
events, like people are just rolling in front of them, and people are still like looking around, like feeling awkward about it. Bro, cops just drove past and see Roy with the shirt, and they just look. You know, like.
Because they do it themselves.
I know. No, of course. And
that's why.
And I've asked. I asked because I have a police member in the family, right? It's funny because now that picture rolling around and everything. But I asked him. I asked my cousin. He's a cop, and he was like, "Nah, man." He's like, "There's less paperwork." He was like, "It was annoying, you know."
Yeah, because it's like it's not that serious.
So
you know, when you dig into that stuff and go into conspiracy theories and documentaries and just like the truth behind why it's classified as a Schedule 1 drug and how they did it with the 13th Amendment and you know the new form of slavery, we got another hour.
we gotta go.
That's a special podcast for the Patreon.
That's be the Patreon.
But you know what I mean? That shit's crazy.
Shout out to Princess. She finally barked at the end. She didn't bark the whole episode.
There was that random dog though. I was like, do I hear a dog?
Yeah, that one next door. Yeah, but that one I don't think she hears or I don't know because she doesn't act up with that one. But what I'm gonna shout out is it's a comedy special. It's a really old one. It's from Dave Chappelle. I love Dave Chappelle. My top 2 comedians. Well, yeah, him and Cat Williams are like top 2, and then throw Seinfeld in there. But Killing Them Softly.
Classic.
Killing Them Softly is absolutely fucking hilarious. And I know it word for word, and it's just hilarious. But I was watching that shit last night, and I was like, yo, he can never have done that stand-up in 2021.
He did.
That's the thing. Dave don't change.
Dave didn't change.
His recent shit, it may not be the same delivery, but he's on a whole new level. Like,
yeah, he can't do that.
He's uncancelable.
What?
Go check out his shit from like a year ago.
It's his recent stuff.
Yeah.
I watched it. It was alright. No, it was good. Like I love
the stuff that he said was he knows where to walk and how to walk. He can still step. He doesn't have to like
him,
I don't know.
Bill Burr, Joe Rogan,
especially
Andrew
Bill
Schultz. Like these people.
Fucking Andrew.
Yep.
Let's
go.
That name's not allowed here.
But it's just like these people that just like they don't care, and that's something with comedy. You want comedians to be like your people that are always pushing the boundaries, and like especially now with cancel culture, like look at Chris Rock. He's not the same.
Hold on.
Definitely not.
Crispy, you are live on Therapy Without a Degree.
What a perfect time to call in, huh?
Yes. What's going on, bro? You fired up or what?
We're fired the hell up. We're actually calling you just to let you know how fired up we are on this lovely day.
Let's go. Let's get it.
We didn't know we'll end up on the podcast, but it's perfect timing.
What's going on, bro? You good?
Yeah, pushing the brand. We're innovating every single day, and we're staying focused.
Hell yeah. You got the Crispy Ambassador program all booked up.
We got the athlete program. We're actually opening back up September 1st. Letting 50 more athletes in.
Ooh, you there?
Yep.
Okay. Yo, Chris, real quick, a question actually. Since you did call, you did it to yourself. How do you stop yourself from being too hard on yourself? Like, do you ever get moments when you're like, damn, like I could have sold more shirts today, and you're like really hard on yourself, but then you kind of switch back?
Well, I'm always hard on myself because I'm never really ever satisfied. Some people say, "Oh yeah, you gotta celebrate the little successes and you know this," and I say, "Yeah, of course, celebrate the little successes, but you're not anywhere near where you want to be in the ultimate goal. So you're never ever going to be satisfied." So, in my opinion, I'm going to keep pushing harder and harder because whatever I did is not enough. It will never be enough because the plans that I have and the aspirations I have for myself is way bigger than I could ever be. So I'm going to keep on pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And and I don't have time to slow down and think, oh wow, I've done so much, and forget all that, because I'm nowhere near where I want to be right now. So I'm not going to slow down until I actually do realize that, okay, this is where you had as a goal, and this is where you want to be, and then I can have time to slow down and think about and reflect.
Word, bro. I feel that, and you know why I appreciate that? It's funny you called, because you're one of the very, very few people, bro. One of the very few people in my life that actually I knows the amount of effort that needs to be put into their hustle.
100%.
Yeah, bro.
100%.
Word. But do you ever like still be like, nah, damn, I need to kind of like be happy for what I just did?
Well, when people bring it up to me and they say, wow, the brand's grown so much in like a year, I can't believe like all this happened. Then I'm like, oh, then I think about it. I'm like, wow, you're right. It actually is a lot that's happened in a year. Like the only way that I'll actually sit back and think of all the accomplishments is if someone like keeps telling me or brings it up to me or says it, because on my own, I honestly don't even think of any of that. But when someone brings it up, then I'm like, you're actually right. It is.
Word. Let's fucking go. Shout out to the Crispy brand. But all right, bro, I'll call you back. We better wrap up anyway. All right, peace. Fucking Crispy brand. Go get
Shout out
the
to
fucking merch. Perfect person to call about that topic too.
Oh yeah, that level of hunger. When I hear something like that, what you guys were just talking about, it's just like, that's inspiring. Some people get intimidated by that, and some people like. Sometimes I don't see it in myself, but it's just like you guys were saying, it's about that network, you know.
If you hang around people who are always making money, there's no reason why you shouldn't be making money. You know what I'm saying? Someone said that, like, if you want to make $1 billion, hang out with some billionaires. I promise you, you're gonna make $1 billion.
Yeah,
You're a product of your environment, definitely.
Right.
1000%, yo. Zane, any last words?
No, just watch our videos on YouTube and make sure you follow us on Instagram, Therapy Without a Degree, and also follow our Facebook group, because we have a lot of topics that we would love to hear your thoughts on.
Yeah, Zane Samuel's always there.
Zane Samuel.
You got it's gonna be my face and it transitions to Kevin Samuels.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Like it'll be a topic like
Merry
when they say
Christmas,
this, and he just
filthy animal.
That's Zane when he drops those fucking things, man.
Oh my god, the best! I can't wait, because I know at the moment I posted it, everybody was fucking gunning at it with the 50-50 at the, and I'm like, holy shit, that was so funny. I was like, some of y'all lying, nigga, you fucking teeth.
He's like,
that's another story.
Filthy animals.
You filthy animals.
People got to protect the image, you know.
Of course.
Be like, yeah, I wanted 50-50. Be like, yo, that shit is fucking hilarious.
Yo, where'd you catch that Dave Chappelle special? About to watch it again.
It's definitely on Netflix.
I YouTube
The old ones?
I YouTube
Yeah, look, if you type in David Chappelle, I think his stand-ups are on there.
It's on. No, this one's on Hulu, but YouTube.
Hmm.
The full thing is on YouTube. That's where I watched it last night. But yeah, Netflix. He has, I think, his newer ones, but not the old.
The older one, they did have some of his older.
I think at
ones.
one point.
Some of them. Not. And I'm almost 100% sure they have "Killing Me Softly" on there.
Yo, that is motherfucker. Get it together, Grouch. Get a job, Grouch. I'm the poorest motherfucker on Sesame Street.
They think he's a joke.
Nobody's helping me.
They had a meme. They said they like Sesame Street had their first homeless character, and then it was like, is Grinch a fucking joke? Is Grouch a fucking joke to you? Is Oscar a joke to you? Has he not been there? He lived in a trash can this entire time. I was like, wow, they'd be funny.
I'm just saying, yo, watch that. Like, so you're gonna watch it and then let me know, which I love. Like I said, it's my favorite stand-up of all fucking time.
Get it together, Grouch.
Get it together, Grouch. Get a job, Grouch. And then the pimp, the count. He's like, that nigga had the nerve to put a pimp on there. I know a pimp when I see one.
2, 3.
Three strikes.
Where's my money?
And then the Cookie Monster.
Oh, he had an addiction. Listen, it was an underling of things.
But even that segment, he was okay. I'm talking about like how he was like blatantly joking about police brutality.
That's every all the
Yeah,
comedians
but-
in the '90s and now, and it just any black
Do you think
comedian
he
is gonna be
do you
talking
think he
about
can get
that.
away with that shit now?
He still does. He
He's still
still be
doing it
talking about
now.
all that shit. But then like his storytelling ability has elevated to a sense where he just ties everything together.
Right.
Like I said, I love Dave. I was watching it last night and I felt like I was gonna get canceled.
So
Just watching it.
So who
But I love
exactly? Real quick, but who exactly is going to tell a black person not to talk about express their views on police brutality, which directly affects them?
It's just because he was joking. Just because he was joking about it, I feel like that his own people would.
I think it was more so sarcasm. He has a way of being sarcastic.
Well,
I've seen it
With comedy, it's like you want them to always push the boundaries. Like if they're too worried about cancel culture, then nothing's gonna be funny.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and Dave's never getting canceled.
Exactly.
It was just my thoughts. Go watch Killing Himself.
see like a fucking Netflix thing show. Like,
yeah,
they
give me
gave
the
you a
fucking
bag.
bag. Yeah, the views are gonna go up. But yeah. Other than that, yeah, we out. I mean, I don't know if I might not be here next week. It might just be out.
I love the silence in that.
Well,
Love the silence.
Yeah, it just might be. It might
Make it
be
work.
out. We're gonna swap seats.
I see you in
maybe.
Zoom.
Yeah, nah,
See
come
you in
on.
Zoom, Christian. See you
Come on,
the
do
Zoom.
it here. You can sit here. He's gonna take my seat. We
I'll
look.
see
We,
you on the Zoom.
we look like each other.
If he had a baldy and a pink beard,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Pink beard.
It's on brand, yo. It's on brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I might not be here next week. Well, no, I'm not gonna be here next week. I just remember I'm going to Myrtle Beach.
Oh, shout
Actually-
out to that. Yeah.
I may or may not.
May what?
No, I'll be here.
You'll be here?
By be here, I mean in Jersey.
He means on Zoom.
Nah, I'll be here if I need to be here.
If you could,
If I could.
that gives me one less day. I gotta find someone to watch Princess.
Oh, you don't have nobody. You're not taking Princess. I thought you were taking Princess.
Nah, I might send her off.
Oh, if that was the case, I'd be here.
We'll talk about that off air. But all right, people. It's been fun. Therapy without a degree. Killing them softly. That's